When you hear the words famous paintings, artists such as Vincent van Gogh and Leonardo da Vinci may be the first names that pop into your mind. Starry Night and Mona Lisa are what you're probably thinking about right now. But if I said the name Johannes Vermeer and asked you who painted Girl with the Pearl Earring, you probably would not be able to put two and two together. Who would have thought that the artist behind one of the most captivating paintings would be someone who would only begin to receive recognition nearly 200 years after their death? Johannes Vermeer, born in 1632, was a Dutch artist who specialized in domestic interior scenes of middle-class life. Unlike most famous artists, little is documented about Vermeer, and most of his paintings have no date. Girl with the Pearl Earring is believed to have been painted in 1665. Not much seems to be known about the ownership of the painting until 1881, when it was bought at an auction by Arnaldus Andrés de Thom. De Thom bought the painting to prevent it from being sold abroad. After his passing, he donated the painting, along with others, to the Musée in 1902, where it has resided ever since. Unlike the famous Mona Lisa, Vermeer's painting is not a normal portrait, but instead a drone, the Dutch term for a character or type of person. While we see a young woman perfectly rendered and lifelike, the model is not being portrayed. It's believed that the model was an exotic woman, as she wore a turban. The painting is then assumed to be an attestament for his expertise in lighting. In 2018, the Musée launched an investigation on the piece to discover the techniques that Vermeer had used. 2 years later, the findings have been published. But before that was published, a few things about Vermeer's techniques were known. While he never left the status of middle class, he frequently used very expensive pigments such as ultramarine, lead tin yellow, madder lake, and vermilion. So far, only about 20 pigments have been detected across his paintings. Of course, there are 7 principal pigments that he commonly used: lead white, yellow ochre, vermilion, madder lake, green earth, raw umber, and ivory or bone black. But just how did Vermeer go from a blank canvas to a lifelike masterpiece? While the use of paint has been discovered, the way he sketched and planned his paintings is still up for debate. There is no evidence that he planned them out through sketches or tracing. Instead, it's believed that Vermeer may have used a camera obscura, which makes use of a darkened room that has a small hole at one side through which the image can be projected onto the opposite wall. Unfortunately, this theory remains disputed, as there's no historical evidence to support it. In a detailed inventory of his belongings listed after his death, a camera obscura, or anything similar to it, is not written. However, it is known that Vermeer had a close relationship with lens maker Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Luckily for us, the way he laid down his paints is detailed out for everyone. The preparatory steps are believed to have not been done by Vermeer himself, rather they were purchased. Pre-primed canvases were discovered to be purchasable in the Netherlands during his time. As for his techniques, Vermeer was patient and slow with every single one of his paintings. So slow that he probably allowed every single layer to completely dry before he started the next one. Vermeer would start each one with thin black lines to outline his subjects and get the perimeter of everything before starting the coloring phase. These thin lines would allow him to easily make any adjustments as he went on. Through the Museu's research, we know that Vermeer would work on the subject along with the background simultaneously. Vermeer would begin with monochrome shading to establish his lighting. From there, he would move on with his pigments and in a glaze go over the brown shading to bring things alive. And to finish them off, he would create a final white glaze to add any necessary highlights. While we have a bountiful knowledge of how Vermeer produced his paintings, thanks to the help of advancing technology, there is still much to learn. And with technology growing smarter and quicker, soon we will have completely unlocked the secrets of Johannes Vermeer.